The movie is Death of a Unicorn, which was written and directed by Alex Scharfman. The film follows father and daughter Elliot and Ridley as they drive through the Canadian wilderness for a very important business retreat with Elliot's boss. On the drive there, they somehow accidentally hit what appears to be a unicorn with their car. When they learn the unicorn has incredible healing properties, Elliot's boss attempts to exploit the mythical creature, only for everyone to soon find out the hard way that unicorns are not always friendly. I was extremely excited to see this movie when I first heard about it. It is an entirely original concept that immediately grabbed my interest. I'm also a huge fan of Paul Rudd, so when I found out that he was going to be the lead in the movie, I got even more excited than I already was. Unfortunately, I was pretty disappointed after seeing this one. It was surprisingly kind of boring, which seems almost impossible for a movie about unicorn roadkill. And I really do love the idea of the premise. Like, what if unicorns are real and they're amazing and have these healing powers, but also if you mess with them, there are these vicious, savage, brutally violent unicorns that will be out for your blood. That sounds amazing. It sounds like an awesome movie that's super entertaining. It's a fantastic idea. It's super original, and it feels like there's so many different directions a movie can go with that. But I felt like this film didn't develop the story that much outside of that initial plot idea. And because of that, overall, it felt a bit tedious and dull. I thought the plot was overly predictable, the characters were fairly one note, and the comedy just wasn't there for me. The humor was a big part of the reason I was so disappointed. I would say far and away, the best jokes in the movie were given away in the film's trailer. And beyond those jokes, the funny moments weren't all that funny, and they were just missing the mark a lot of the time. To me, it felt like a lot of it had to do with the pacing of the film, where things often felt just kind of off and awkward, where they were very clearly meant to elicit laughs. And while awkward can obviously be very funny, that just wasn't the case with this film. I will say that the acting overall was good, and the performances were one of the brighter spots of the movie. Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd, and Will Poulter delivered some of the best comedic lines in the movie, and without them, the film would have been much worse off. I thought the design of the unicorns were interesting and unique depictions that I'd never really seen done before, so I did appreciate the creativity and thought that went into that. I also enjoyed the themes and messaging in the film that very clearly denounce greed disguised as benevolence and altruism. Doing what makes you a ton of money for the benefit of the small minority isn't some philanthropic deed. It's actually an incredibly self serving and quite evil act. It also pokes fun at many of the major issues with Big Pharma, creating miracle drugs that truly help people, but that are also outrageously costly, while making the executives of the company excessively wealthy in the process. Overall, this movie was a big disappointment for me. I thought that the comedy was fairly weak, the plot didn't expand much beyond the wonderful initial concept, and the monotonous characters culminated to make for a fairly uninteresting watch. All that being said, I've seen a number of people who seem to have really enjoyed this movie and found it to be quite funny. And I also really appreciate a filmmaker bringing an original concept to life, which is an extraordinary undertaking and an achievement in and of itself. So I would still encourage you to go see this film while it's in theaters so you can see for yourself what you think. So with that said, go watch Death of a Unicorn. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, please share it with a friend, add a comment letting me know what you thought of this movie or a movie you think I should review next, and subscribe to my channel. I put out a movie review each week, so subscribe to stay tuned. Thanks, y'all.